This is every Jiren What If in Sparking Zero. We've covered every character so far, from Goku to Vegeta, Frieza and Gohan, so now we tackle the mortal who surpassed the gods of destruction. From what if Jiren won the Tournament of Power, to what if Jiren destroyed all of Universe 7's team. Everyone will feel his might. Before we continue, be sure to leave a like and a comment. There's a new hype system on YouTube, and those interactions are more important than ever. Thanks as always for your support. So, let's begin. Towards the start of Jiren's story mode, which entirely takes place in the Tournament of Power, we get a choice. Kale is rampaging across the stage, and as the strongest warrior, we have a way to end her terror. Do we intervene like in the anime, or stay behind and let her get rid of the opponents for us? To see just what would change, and realize the true limits of Kale's power, let's let her deal with our enemies for now. Weirdly, we don't actually see much of the Kale choice, as we cut right from Toppo admiring the strength of the Saiyans to Goku trying to challenge Jiren. But Toppo, being the good friend that he is, says that he'll handle him for us. But before we can even fight, we're told that Toppo and Jiren retreat to save power, only for the battle to continue once Goku is joined by 17 and 18. Kind of a weird, roundabout way to get to things, but Jiren battles the twin androids, as 18 comments on how the infinite void of the Tournament of Power has changed since the beginning of the battle. Of course, this wind-up doll doesn't stand a chance against the Pride Trooper. Once 18 is defeated, 17 jumps in to replace her, and finally, Super Saiyan Blue Goku. One of the gimmicks for Jiren's what-ifs are basically mini boss rushes, as unlike most other what-ifs, there are little cutscenes in between big fights, so we have to survive through every one of these powerful foes. When Jiren finally overwhelms Goku, he smashes him into the arena. But just as he does this, Goku taps into an untold power, Ultra Instinct Omen. Even if it is simple, it's pretty cool to have to fight Goku while he's in one of his most powerful states. His dodging and weaving is just as annoying as 99% of the people who use him online. It makes you appreciate the transformation. Finally, when Goku's Ultra Instinct is timed out thanks to our might, he is rescued by none other than Hit, the infamous time assassin of Universe 6. When asked why he's even there, Hit coldly responds,
"To do my job."
Oh my god, he's so goddamn cool!
But just like normal, Hit is blown out of the arena by Jiren. If only he'd left a clone in there. This is when we get something interesting, which is an obvious homage to the manga. While Jiren meditates, thinking of Ultra Instinct Goku, Master Roshi stumbles upon him, terrified. He tells Jiren just how much he admires his strength, particularly because it's that strength which allowed for Goku to grow rapidly during the tournament. Upon hearing that Roshi is Goku's master, Jiren finally opens his eyes, curious. Because of this, Jiren wants to battle Roshi. One of the most iconic moments in the Dragon Ball Super manga is Master Roshi fighting Jiren, trying to help Goku tap into Ultra Instinct, and ultimately being the catalyst of it. Of course, it seems they can't give us manga content outside of attacks. So this is the next best thing. As the battle begins, we hear a little more about Jiren. Roshi wonders what exactly he wants the Dragon Balls for. Of course, this battle is appropriate, as Jiren's sole reason to fight is reviving his old master. Fun fact, the manga also specifies that Jiren's master, Jichin, was killed by a demon, meaning his soul cannot go to Otherworld, nor can the gods revive him. Belmont, from the stands, recalls that there is one thing Jiren's heart has been longing for. Jiren's parents were killed by a powerful foe, but he was rescued by Jichin, the man who would take Jiren as his student. He grew into a strong fighter with an even stronger sense of justice, with friends and allies along the way. That was until that same demon who killed his parents returned, and he killed every single one of his friends and his master. He tried to fight alongside whoever was left, but nobody would join him, and so that world was lost to the demon. Jiren was betrayed. Their principles were betrayed for the sake of an easier path. That's why Jiren doesn't believe in trust nor friendship, only in his power. Because if he has the power to protect and defend, then others will follow. Trust is of no use. Belmont admires, even romanticizes the suffering Jiren went through. But there's a fight still going on, and Jiren doesn't like to talk. But Roshi asks something curious. Would his master really have wanted Jiren to fight alone? After all, it's only because of his friends and allies that Goku was able to make it to where he is now. With nothing else to say, Jiren gets ready to defeat Roshi, who tells him that although Goku can't beat him now, he will grow past any wall and into his greatest rival yet. Just as Jiren has that realization, Dispo appears behind Roshi and smacks him out of the ring. Before Jiren can even catch a breath, he catches a glimpse of Vegeta, watching him with his arms folded. Vegeta wonders why he got so strong, but the answer of justice isn't satisfactory to Vegeta. Jiren mocks him in return, saying that his universe must be quite peaceful if justice isn't a motivating factor. Buddy, I have a whole anime for you to watch. 5, in fact. But this private conversation is interrupted by Frieza and 17. Jiren says that his comrades won't save him this time, but correction. Frieza isn't exactly something they'd call a comrade. He's barely even their ally right now. In fact, he is one of their most fearsome foes. Here, we get another boss rush, since we go from 17 to Frieza to Vegeta and finally Goku, all in a single health bar. Jiren is confused by Goku's way of doing things. Despite them both being on the same tier of power, Goku relies on others, and not just his own strength. As the fight continues, off-screen, Toppo and Vegeta are both taken out at once, and Vegeta shows his growth by saying that even if he isn't the one to deliver the final blow, it will be okay as long as their universe wins. Belmont demands that, in honor of Toppo's sacrifice, Jiren must defeat Goku. The Grey is once again surprised by the mortals of Universe 7. Bringing his fight against the Destroyer Toppo to a draw is no easy feat, and so the fight begins anew, and Goku once again awakens the Ultra Instinct power. Both Zenos are thrilled, but Belmont isn't as impressed as the first time. A strong defense won't win Goku the battle. After all, Ultra Instinct is incomplete as it is now. Vegeta is confused by this, but Belmont laughs. He doesn't actually believe Goku could master that form, a form even gods have trouble with in the time of a single tournament, right? But Vegeta argues that Belmont himself has seen them shatter the limits over and over again in only 48 minutes. Is it really that unbelievable that Goku would do it too? And Goku proves it as he taps into the true Ultra Instinct power. Still, Belmont doesn't think that Goku stands a chance. Unknown to him, Jiren's worldview is being shattered right before his eyes. If he loses here, then all of his might has been for nothing. The trauma from his past returning to Jiren and pushing him into his full power. But Goku knows he has his friends and family to rely on, and that's all that matters. That's what pushes him forward. But just then, Goku loses the Ultra Instinct power, and we're about to finish him off, only for Frieza and 17 to once again interrupt. It looks like things are about to go as normal, with Jiren being driven out. But we get one more chance. As full power Jiren, we must destroy every single remaining member of Universe 7 and win. And once we do, we pick up in the scene where Jiren clashes with the three, only this time his power is far superior to them. Goku, Frieza, and 17 are knocked out of the ring, and Universe 11 is declared the winner. Before being erased though, Goku tells Jiren that this was an incredible fight, and that he's itching for more. Hopefully, they will see each other again soon. These words, and his actions, struck Jiren hard, and it made him realize that there are still plenty of things to see, people to meet, and power to overcome. And because of this, Jiren steps away from his wish to revive his master, and instead, he asks to bring back the destroyed universes. The two Zeno fly down to ask Jiren if he's sure, and he confirms it. Jiren now sees that he has been shackled by his past and his grief, but now he has new desires, new promises to fulfill. This surprises everyone in his universe. Belmont can't believe it, while Toppo looks on proudly, realizing that Goku has changed his friend for the better, as he has with many others over the years. And hasn't he done that for us as well? And so, the destroyed universes are restored, while Jiren thinks to himself that he can't wait to see Goku again. I know that feeling, buddy. The Grey turns to Toppo and tells his friend that it's time to return to base. Their work here is done. He walks off into the distance. The universe is finally at peace. But surely, this is just the beginning of new friendships and rivalries. That's the end of the main Jiren What If. And I gotta say, I really like how we delve deeper into his character. He's pretty quiet through most of the anime, and even here, but we actually get to see how every single person he faces changes his perspective little by little. Roshi, Vegeta, and Goku in particular. He's becoming a more interesting character, and I do hope we get to see him again. Though I will say, this is probably the single hardest what if to get. Not only because of the boss rushes, but in order to get that final what if ending, you have to do this entire path in a single run, and it's quite annoying. As for what happens next, well, we haven't gotten to see too much of the other universes since then, but with Jiren so driven by his desire to face Goku again and open up new friendships, perhaps the universes can begin to collaborate a little bit more. Maybe he hears of the threats Universe 7 faces, Moro, Gas, Cell Max, and he decides to help. Or even more wild, he decides to expand the Pride Troopers beyond his universe, inviting the Kamikaze Fireballs, the Great Saiyaman, even Gamma 1 to be part of his big superhero family, to protect each other no matter the universe. A bit more American comic book style, but hey, if this was a spin-off, I'd watch it. I could absolutely see things being completely hopeless for Goku and the others against Moro, with him having freed all the galactic prisoners, when suddenly you see a ship up in the sky, with Jiren commanding the forces and helping our friends against the wizard. If not Moro, then someone like Cell Max, I guess. After all, Gohan's a superhero. Maybe he's part-time with the Pride Troopers, so they come help out when they can. Throughout this what if, I've really come to appreciate Jiren a little bit more, and I hope we see the rest of the Pride Troopers soon too. Did you know that Jiren and Toppo were supposed to have each other's personality until Akira Toriyama stepped in and told Toei that no, it's the other way around? If you want to find out more, be sure to check out my video about one fact for every Dragon Ball Super episode. But anyways, there's one more alternate ending to the Tournament of Power here, one that has much darker implications. If we follow the canon path until the final battle against Goku, Frieza, and 17, we once again see the final clash of blasts. But this time, once Jiren wins, he has no real change of perspective, no real growth, and even Goku himself looks satisfied in battle, wanting nothing more and nothing else. Almost as if he has nothing else to grow towards, and just kind of accepts death. He doesn't tell Jiren that he wants to fight again. This outcome has only confirmed what Jiren already believed, that his strength is absolute, and the only thing he needs to rely on. After all, he won with no help, the implication here being that Jiren did in fact choose to revive his master over the other universes. But as the Grand Priest explains, if a selfish wish was made that didn't bring back the other universes, then the winning universe would also have been erased. Thus, not only were Goku, Kaba, Ribrianne, and all the other warriors destroyed, but even Jiren and his revived master. A sad ending to an arc that already has very dark undertones, despite its overall exciting and not necessarily dark attitude. I wish we could have gotten to actually see the wish being made, and the repercussions. Of course, Jiren's what-ifs are entirely centered on the Tournament of Power, and there's not that many, which is kind of a missed opportunity. I mean, why not dream bigger? Why not have Jiren come in during Broly, or maybe the Pride Troopers trying to help during earlier arcs, in a mission to bring justice to all the other universes. Xenoverse 2 did something like this, with Dispo showing up in the middle of the Kid Buu fight. I get that we're just trying to get his perspective here, but there's totally more things to do in such an ever-expanding and creative universe as Dragon Ball. Still, the big what-ifs we get I do appreciate, and I like most of them. The biggest thing here, honestly, is that it helped me appreciate Jiren a little bit more than I had before. But that's pretty much it, and with Jiren completed, we've seen every single Dragon Ball Sparking Zero what if. Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Trunks, Piccolo, Frieza, Goku Black, and Jiren. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. It was a ton of fun to do, and really fun to step back into what ifs for a while. I am thinking about covering other Dragon Ball video game story modes, like the Raging Blast What If Saga, and a few other things like that, so be on the lookout. Be sure to, I don't know, what are Jiren's attacks called? Power impacts the subscribe button. And if you're looking for more deep dives into Dragon Ball, then check out my video explaining the crazy original plans for Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods.